Yo, yo, yo! Today we're going to talk about credit cards. More specifically, my credit card journey and how I worked my way up to an 800 credit score and to have 9 credit cards so far. And if you were like me, you grew up scared of credit cards. I just always heard about credit card debt and how you shouldn't spend money that isn't really yours. But there's way more things that you should be scared about in life besides credit cards. Like this, or even this. See, so credit cards really aren't that bad, but you still need to be smart about it, and that's why you watch videos like this. So give yourself a pat on the back and let's get started. My credit card journey started way back when I was 18 years old and I got a credit card for my 18th birthday. Huge disclaimer, it was not my credit card or under my name completely. I was added as an authorized user onto one of my dad's credit cards. So yeah, it's kind of cheating. I mean, it's kind of a head start, but you can do it too. If you have a mom, a dad, significant other, or like a really good friend with a good credit score, then maybe you could ask them to do a favor for you and add you as an authorized user. I would only suggest doing this for like your first or maybe second credit card because later down the road, you should be having all your credit cards under your name. Anyway, this card that I had was some super simple, generic Bank of America card that I don't even remember the actual type of card it was. And it's also not counted in my total of 9 credit cards today. And I'll talk a little bit more about that later. With my first credit card, I just used it to buy like food, snacks, and whatever else some 18-year-old would buy. It was nothing crazy like an Amex Platinum card or even a card that earned rewards. I'm pretty sure it's just a cashback card, but I didn't even redeem anything for cashback. I just used it to charge things, and that's it. It was more so just a good way to practice paying things on time and in full and not carrying over that balance or paying any interest. I did this for maybe like 2 years, and then I finally got my very own credit card under my name and my name only. And my second credit card was still just a very basic and very simple credit card. It's a Barclays card that I actually got from going to my local bank. Again, it's a no annual fee card, so there's no reward points or anything fancy, no benefits, no real perks to it. I earned cash back, but it was like a 1% cash back rate, so pretty much nothing. If you watch my other video, this is probably like a tier 2 card at most. Honestly, it could have been a tier 1 card. It was just not fancy at all. By this time though, I stopped using my other credit card, the one that was added as an authorized user, and I just started charging the things that I needed onto this card instead. And one of those things that I actually put on this card was the iPhone 10 when it first came out. I actually financed that phone, so I just paid monthly payments with no interest for like 2 years or so. During this time, I actually also had a debit card which I was using to buy most of my things because I wanted to keep that credit card utilization low, especially since I only had 2 credit cards and 2 credit lines to use. So after about a year of using that crappy 1% cashback card, I actually decided to make my first big boy move and get a actual decent credit card. The reason why I actually wanted to look for a new credit card was because I was planning on studying abroad in Copenhagen and I wanted a credit card with no foreign transaction fees. But not only that, I also wanted a credit card that was a Visa because they're accepted pretty much everywhere. And I also wanted a no annual fee card because I was just a poor, frugal college student that didn't have much money to spend just on a piece of plastic. So after a lot of research, I finally decided on the Amazon Prime credit card. This was also partly because at that time I already was an Amazon Prime member, more specifically an Amazon Prime student member. So that's why it was an easy choice to get this card, and that's why it was a no annual fee card for me. I felt like a badass though because this was like a very crappy and flimsy, but still metal credit card. And it even had the numbers on the back, so you were all fancy and had a nice clean front. This card treated me very well actually, and I still use it till this day, but only for purchases on Amazon or Whole Foods. So it's an easy 10 out of 10 keeper card, and I recommend it to anyone who's already an Amazon Prime member. The Amazon Prime credit card is actually a Chase credit card. So now for my next card, I wanted to go over to Amex to start building my relationship with them. Again, I started looking around for a very basic, no annual fee credit card. And that's eventually how I landed on the Amex Everyday card. This is yet another very vanilla credit card which had nothing going for it except I had one thing I wanted to get out of it. And that was simply just to build my relationship with Amex and get my foot in the door with them. So far, all of my credit cards are at most tier 2 credit cards, where they are no annual fees, no real benefits or perks or point system. It's all just mostly cash back. By this time, 4 years have passed since I got my first credit card, that Bank of America credit card that I was added as an authorized user. Or 2 years for my first official credit card under just my name. It was then around this time that the Apple credit card was just recently released, and I wanted to get it because it was cool. And it also had no annual fee. I did already have a bunch of Apple devices, and I was already paying for like iCloud storage, so I thought that it would be a good fit anyway. I eventually applied and got approved for the card, and they've only charged just a few things on it. I still use it till this day, but only for Apple purchases, so it doesn't really leave my house at all. Now for this next credit card, I actually made probably the biggest mistake that I did so far. Nothing crazy, it was nothing super fatal, but I wish I never did it. At this point in my life, I had some crusty old MacBook Pro that took like 15 minutes to log on, so I decided I need to treat myself. And I was looking at the brand new or recently new 16-inch MacBook Pro, but it was like $2,000. It was crazy expensive, and I didn't want to pay out of pocket for it. So I was thinking I was smart, and I went into the Apple Store assuming that I was going to be able to finance it on a credit card that I already own, much like I did for the iPhone 10 when it first came out. So I went into the Apple Store, filled out the application form or whatever, got the green check mark, yay, got approved, and boom, I was able to buy that brand new computer with 0% interest again. Then the guy handed me the computer and I was good to go. Apparently, I just filled out an application form for a new credit card in order to finance my computer. It was so dumb, and honestly, I was so upset about it, like, for quite a little bit. And every time I looked at my computer, I was like, damn, you know, just bad thoughts, bad vibes. I had PTSD. Thankfully, that credit card was just another Barclays credit card with no annual fee. It was nothing special. It's just to pay off my MacBook Pro. But the reason why this is a huge mess is because, one, I have OCD, and why do I want a card that I don't actually need? I don't need a card just to pay off a new computer. That's not the point. But the other downside was the Chase 524 rule, which I didn't really know at the time, so it kind of bit me in the butt later down the road. Another reason why this sucks is because now you can actually use your Apple credit card to finance certain things like laptops, phones, and you get 3% cash back for it. So thanks, I just feel that much better about myself now, knowing that I did that horrible mistake. So whatever, I finally got over that decision, whatever, life goes on, blah blah blah. Moving on, a habit that I like to do is to check my credit score like at least once a week, maybe 2 to 3 times a week using Credit Karma. I use the app, or sometimes even the website. But not so long after buying my MacBook Pro, I checked Credit Karma one day, and my credit score dropped like 60, 80 points, something just crazy. I was like, whoa! Like it looked like an upside down hockey stick, you know? Like I was like, whoa, dude. Not cool. What the hell had just happened? It turns out that the card that I was an authorized user on, my very first credit card, that account closed. My dad didn't close it, I didn't close it, so I'm assuming it closed due to inactivity because I wasn't charging anything on that credit card anyway. But it sucks because that card literally held up my credit score because of the long credit card age history of it. So that's why I just took a fat chunk of my credit score. But then, after a little while, I finally slapped myself into reality, and I decided to do what any other sane person would do, and that's to apply for another credit card. Except this time, it was different. I was applying for the Chase Sapphire Preferred card. What? Yeah, this was my first big boy credit card. Now I'm paying an annual fee. Damn, $95, like I really made it, you know? So finally a card that I could earn points on, finally a card that it has good reward rates to it. I was so excited, especially after taking those 2 L's recently, like I was stoked. I came a long way from these tier 1 and 2 credit cards, and now I finally have a tier 3 credit card. It only took like a couple years. In fact, I was so stoked that not too long after getting my credit card, I actually applied for another credit card, and it was my dream credit card, the Amex Platinum card. And I'll tell you, I was so nervous when I was filling out the application and finally hitting that, you know, send application button or whatever it's called, I forget. Then boom, check mark, I got in, I got the credit card of my dream. But in reality, what I just earned myself was a big fat $550 annual fee. This was unreal. My credit score at the time was like mid 700s, so I was like, I think I'm ready, right? I've had credit cards for a few years, mid 700s credit score, pretty solid. So I just sent it. I was like, whatever. Like, I was feeling good about myself. Why not? It's honestly like such a small deal in reality. In the grand scheme of life, it's not that big of a deal to get a credit card of your dreams. But I was stoked. I mean, I'm sure you guys know that feeling, getting a credit card that you're scared of getting, or getting the credit card of your dreams. It was a nice feeling, especially when you get that box in the mail, you open it up, you know, and then damn, you feel that thing. This card was metal, not some flimsy metal card like the Amazon Prime card or even the Chase Sapphire preferred card. No, this was like straight up metal. Although it was my dream card, you can't just have one card to do it all. And by this time, I had around 7 cards under my belt. And I wanted to get more. I know, it's kind of addicting, especially when you start to get the ball rolling. So, not too long after that, I actually decided to get the Chase Freedom Flex card. Technically, really didn't need, but it was such a nice no annual fee credit card that I just had to get it. Even till this day, I still barely use that credit card just because I have other cards that do more in different categories, and the bonus categories that they have I don't really use or shop at anyway, so unfortunately it just sits in my wallet. Then lastly, I finally applied for probably my most used credit card right now, and that's the Amex Gold card. I use this card the most just because of that 4x back at restaurants and 4x back at grocery stores. And you guys already know, if you watch this channel, that I absolutely love that card. Now you know my credit card journey up until the current time. It's not done yet because there's a bunch of different cards that I still want to get, but you can see how long it took me to get to the point where I am today. I don't know about you guys, but it definitely was a long time for me, and that's what I expect from other people too. So that's why I encourage you guys to start as soon as possible, especially if you don't have a credit card. But at the same time, please don't rush this because it's a slow process. You don't want to make mistakes like I did. You want to educate yourself, so it's a good thing you're watching videos like these. You know, get your head up, get your brain up. You don't want to be making mistakes, especially ones that could be fatal or cause permanent damage. Just make that slow progress, get that snowball rolling, and then you'll get there in no time. Because trust me, it feels good when you could pretty much know or assume that you're gonna get approved for any credit card that you could apply for. For my current credit card strategies, or for the near future credit card strategies, I'm just waiting until I get under the 524 rule again, and then I'm gonna get the Chase Freedom Unlimited card, and then the Amex Hilton Aspire card. But my whole strategy is to get credit cards that I'm going to actually use. So I know for a lot of these cards that I just talked about in my credit card journey, I kind of just said, oh, I approved for this card, or like, I just sent it, or something along the lines of that. But in reality, I actually thought about it a lot. If I'm actually going to use this card, if it's actually going to benefit me, I didn't just choose some random card and then just apply for it. So you want to make sure that it aligns with where you're trying to go, what your current spending habits are, because you don't want a card that you're just not going to use, or you don't want a card that's not going to do anything for you, right? That doesn't make sense. So get cards with those multipliers on like food and groceries. If you eat out a lot, if you buy your own groceries, get that card with those travel multipliers if you're a frequent traveler. Or if you don't have any specific spending categories, get a card like the Chase Freedom Unlimited card, where it earns you 1.5% cash back on anything, any purchase you make. That's like the catch-all card. Diversify yourself. You definitely want to have at least a handful of different credit cards in your arsenal, and hopefully no matter what category you have, you're earning more than just 1% back or 1x points on that purchase. But thank you so much for watching. I'll try and update my credit card strategies as the time goes on, because you know, things change, things happen. But thank you again so much for watching this video, and sorry to bore you. I was just talking about myself the whole time, and I don't really like that, or I just feel weird just talking about myself the whole time. So I hope that it was helpful for you, because it was recommended to share my credit card strategies or my credit card journey. So thank you. And all right, shoots.